Right, so we are almost coming to the closure of the fourth week towards our preparation for the ICAG May 2020 examination, and I just want to share with you a couple of things that I think you should be doing so far if you're going to position yourself to pass the examination. Now, so far a couple of things have taken place, and we've done a couple of things so far. Something like management accounting, we are currently on budgeting and budgetary control. God willing, next week we're going to be finishing with that. When it comes to the financial reporting, we've covered a couple of issues under conceptual framework, under ethics. Then we've started with the accounting standards. You know, my focus more is on the accounting standards. So we've done some issues in relation to the accounting standards. As of today, I think we've covered about 6 or 7 accounting standards, in addition to the issue about ethics and also the issue about conceptual framework and regulatory framework. Then also, when it comes to public sector, currently we are done with almost everything in the section 1, and from next week we are heading off with budgeting in the public sector, and from there we're going to be looking at the IPSAS, and then we'll look at the preparation of financial statements. Then we conclude on public procurement, and then public-private partnership arrangement in relation to that. So these are the 3 things in these 3 subjects. Issues about strategic case study, we started just last week, so this week we're going to be continuing with our discussions on that. We looked at the overview of the syllabus, we look at the key modules that we have to be looking at and expecting, then we look at introduction to strategy. So certainly this Saturday we're going to be continuing with the discussion and start with some of the strategic options that businesses have by looking at the various modules and discussing various issues in relation to that. Then corporate reporting also, we've dealt with the issues about ethics, conceptual framework, regulatory framework, and we are on the standards, just like how we are on the standards in corporate reporting for financial reporting. The same thing is in corporate reporting in relation to that. Now, why am I sharing this with you and opening up some of these things with you? Because if you are preparing for the exams, it means that at least you should be able to cover some of these things so far in the respective subjects that you are writing. So if you are doing management accounting, by now you should be done with profit statement, absorption costing, marginal costing, activity-based costing. You should be done with all of that, and the standard principles. You should start with what? The issue about budgeting. If you're in public sector, by now you should do the roles of the key public officers, understand key issues in the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. Then you should be able to understand a few issues about government revenue and expenditure management. You should be able to understand the Treasury's main accounts, the Public Fund of Ghana. All of these you should be able to understand in relation to that by now. Now, like I say all the time, preparing for the examination is not an overnight thing. So for those of you who are still waiting to for 2 weeks or for 3 weeks to really start doing something, I must tell you that you actually going to be setting yourself up and have a lot of problems for yourself, because there is going to be a lot of pressure on you during that 2 weeks to the exams, where you are going to be preparing for the exams in relation to that. So what I want you to do is this. What I want you to do basically is this. Make sure that you are studying. Make sure that you have a personal timetable. Make sure that you are doing something on your own. It's very important. Now, if you're not attending lectures, then for those of you who don't even attend lectures, you are actually setting yourself up already on a negative track, because if you don't attend lectures, you are actually not preparing for the exams. You're actually not working hard. All right. Now, don't freak me out and say, Nhyira, last semester I attended lectures, and so I just need some few touches. Then you go. You don't know anything. Do you understand it? You don't know anything. So don't freak out to do anything about the fact that, oh, I know everything already, I just need some time. You don't know anything. You just have to admit it, because if you knew, you would have passed the exams. Why is that important? Because if you think you know everything and you just need some final touches, if you're not careful, you will go to the exam hall and fail again in the exams. That is why you must pretend as though you don't know anything. You must pretend as though you've not studied the subject before and start all over again from scratch. Now, this is the sweet spot. When you pretend and start all over again from the scratch, that is where when the thing is being taught and you are learning the thing, you start to get the aha moment. Then you're like, oh, okay, so this is what this meant. Oh, okay, this is what this meant. Okay, now I get this. So now I get it. That is how you get the understanding. But if you just walk in your mind thinking that you know everything, you understand everything, so you don't need as much work as possible, or you just need some final touches, you are actually setting yourself up for failure. Now, one thing you must also understand is this. One thing you must also understand is this, that irrespective of where you are and what you do, you must know that there are three things that makes life successful for everybody. Now, one of the people I follow a lot about the effectiveness of the brain is Jim Quick. If you're a follower of my work, you know that I share a lot of things about him, about the effectiveness of the brain, and he's coming out with a new book that is Limitless. I'm going to put it on the screen there, Limitless, and you can pre-order it at the limitlessbooks.com. Now, in that book, he's sharing three core things that drives the success of every human being and causes every human being to become successful. I want to give you a sneak peek into those three things. The first one is mindset, the second one is motivation, and the third one is methods. So mindset, motivation, and methods. Your mindset tells you about what you think it's possible, what you think you must do, what you think you can do. There are some of you have a very strange and psychic understanding for the ICAG exams, and you think the ICAG exams is difficult, and you don't want to let it go. It's difficult. There are people who say the exams is difficult. No matter what you do, ICAG, you will fail. Now, have you thought of it this way? Do you know some people pass the exams? Some people pass the exam. So in case you don't know, some people passed. So the same paper that you said ICA failed you, some people passed. Now, do you think you are so important that, now this is not for any offense, but that is how it is. That is how you must look at life if you really want to become successful. Do you think you are so important that the ICA will fail you if you have passed the exams? No, because if somebody passed the same exams and that paper was marked by the same group of people and the person passed and you failed, it simply means that you did not work up to what? The expectation. So your mindset is very, very important. That is the first step. What do you think it's possible? What do you think you can do? What do you think you cannot do? There are some of you think that the exams is difficult, and no matter what you do, it's not going to be done well because ICA, they structure the question, and sometimes the question will be in such a way. And sometimes when I hear some of this statement from students, I'm like, if you speak like that, you are setting your mind up for what? Failure. Okay, if you speak like that, you are setting your mind up for failure. Yes, it's not difficult. I don't see it to be difficult, but it has its own challenges. And then the only way you can overcome the challenges is to be able to study very well. So what is your mindset about the paper? What do you think it's possible about the paper? Some of you think financial reporting is difficult. Some of you think financial management is difficult. Some of you think that corporate reporting is difficult. Strategic case study is difficult. If you think they are difficult, it is true. Because the mind, that is how the mind works. Whatever you think is true is true. If you think you are poor, you will be poor. If you think you are rich, you are rich. If you think you will succeed, you will succeed. If you think you are broke, you will be broke. Do you get the idea? So whatever you tell your mind is truth. Now, why am I saying this? Because 2020 is a new year. You know this. 2020 is a new decade. You cannot have that mindset you were having previously in 2019, in 2018, in 2017, in 2015, in 2016, 14, whatever it is. You cannot have that same mindset in that previous decade in this year, in this decade, because this is a new decade, this is a new period, this is a new year, and if you are going to become successful, you must set yourself up with the right mindset. So that is the first thing Jim Quick shares on. You need to have the right mindset. It's critical, it's fundamental if you're going to become successful as a person. That's it. So what is your mindset? What is your mindset? There are some of you, you think that, oh, you need 2 weeks now, you pass the exams. You will fail. You will fail actually. Because the mind doesn't work like that. There are some of you, you think, oh, I'm just looking for 50%. Charlie, 1 week to the exam, you will do some shabu work. No, Charlie, we will go into it. Last semester, I did the same thing, some shabu. No, I passed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, cry. You are just giving yourself pressure that you don't want to buy. Now, you realize that, now, this is what I tell my students. I tell my students like this, that as the exams get closer, you must cruise towards the exams. What does that mean? It means that you don't have to be under pressure when exams is getting closer. But the reason why a lot of students are under pressure 1 week to the exams, 2 weeks to the exams, it's simply because of what? They are lack of preparedness, and they are not prepared for the exams. So they wait. January, nothing is happening. February, nothing is happening. March, nothing is happening. April, 2 weeks to the exams, then they start. And like I always say, they attend every revision or whatever intervention class. Kofi is doing it, they will go. Amma is doing it, they will go. Ajimal is doing it, they will go. Joshua is doing it, they will go. KK is doing it, they will go. Everybody doing it, they will go. You are just buying yourself unnecessary pressure. You are just buying yourself unnecessary pressure. You've got to sit down and have a plan for your life. You've got to sit down and have a plan for yourself. That what am I doing? And how am I seeing this paper? Because if you see the paper as it is difficult, and this is the fun aspect. This is the fun aspect. You see the paper to be difficult, but you don't take it serious. There are many of the students that fail the exams. They don't take the exam serious, but they know the exam is. They know in their mind the exam is difficult, but they don't take it serious. How can you say something is difficult and you don't take it serious? Because if you take it serious, you won't wait 1 week to the exams and start being serious. You won't wait 2 weeks to the exams and start being serious. You will be serious from the very first day that class commences till the day you write the exams. That is the deal. So the first thing has to do with your mindset. The way a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Then the second thing has to do with your motivation. Your motivation. Motivation is about purpose. What motivates you? Why do you want to become a chartered accountant? Why do you want to pass the ICAG exams? There are some of you, you don't have the motivation, because really, if you have the motivation, that is where you'll be able to close all the doors that you need to close. That is where you'll be able to build boundaries around you for things that you're not supposed to do. That is where you decide where to go, where not to go, where to be, and where not to be. So there are many of you, you don't have the drive, because your motivation is your purpose. Why do you want to be a chartered accountant? Why should you pass that exams? Is it strong? Because the stronger your purpose, the stronger the motivation, the stronger your actions, the stronger your drive. Because wishes alone cannot get you there. I know everybody wishes that he or she passes the exams, but wishes alone cannot get you there, my sister. Wishes alone cannot get you there, my brother. You've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the effort. You've got to put in the sacrifices, because that is what is going to get you there. That's it. That's it. That is what is going to get you there. So Jim Quick said, the second thing is what? Your purpose. Your purpose. What motivates you? So what is motivating you to write the ICAG May 2020 exams? What is motivating you to write whatever, the time that you are watching this video, whatever it is? What is motivating you to write the exams? If your motivation is really high, if you know the purpose of what you are doing, you will sacrifice and do whatever it is. So the first thing, your mindset. What do you think is possible? The second thing, your motivation. What is your purpose? And then the third thing is about your method or your process. How are you going to achieve your goals? How are you going to achieve your purpose? This is where the success triangle I share comes to be. The first thing is that you must understand the principles, the concepts of the subject. The second thing is that you must understand you must get an examination analysis document. This details out the areas that the examiner has been examining on, the areas that you are expecting for the examination sitting that you are going into. Now, once you understand the concept, you have the structure of the examination, you understand the examiner's behavior, then you now come to the third step, and that is what? Practicing of questions. What many students do is this: they skip step 1, understanding of the concept, they skip step 2, getting an examination analysis, and then they come to step 3, they are solving questions. So they can solve questions from 1932 to 2020. They solve all the questions, but they are solving and they don't understand. They look at the solution, they don't understand. So, but they are still solving. They are still solving, and they are giving themselves false hope. Oh, ibahi, feel, ibahi, feel, ibahi. Near ole. You don't know the thing, but you are giving yourself false hope. But if you understand the concept, then practicing questions become what? Fun. Practicing questions become what? Easy. Becomes more understandable. But you don't know the thing, you don't understand the thing, but you are practicing questions. And people solve a lot of past questions, and they will buy the past question, print it out, solve. And what they are solving, they don't even understand. This is the fun aspect. I've been in this field for quite a lot of time. Not as much years as possible, but quite a lot of time. And I've seen a lot of things that students do. They are solving a question they don't even understand. They are referring to the solution. They still don't understand, but they give themselves false hope. Oh, okay, yeah, and then okay, then they go. Now, if that same similar question, they see it, they don't know what to do. Why? Because of the method they are using to study. Why? Because of the process they are using to study. So you must find out what process, what method. How am I going to achieve my purpose? How am I going to make the thing that I think to be possible to come into reality? That is critical. So how are you going to study? The first thing, follow the success triangle that I shared. It's very, very critical. You can watch that on my channel. I'm going to drop a link of it in the description box. You can follow that. Understand the concepts. Understand financial reporting has a lot of concepts, has a lot of principles. Understand all of them. Corporate reporting, the same thing. Management accounting has concepts and principles you must understand. Once you move there, you come to the second stage, and that is getting the examination analysis documents, understanding what's the structure of the exams, what are the areas the examiner examines on, and what has been the behavior of the examiner in the past, and what is likely to be the examiner's behavior in the future. Once you get that, you now go to what? Practicing questions. So before you start practicing questions, you understand the principles, and you will not be frustrated. You will not be frustrated. So this is what that I want to share with you today. Very, very critical. Like I mentioned, from a mentor, Jim Quick, somebody that I listen to, somebody that is my go-to when it comes to how effective I want my brain to work, when I come to how I want to achieve the food I need to eat, whatever it is to stay on top of my game. He's the person I go to. And this is 3 key things that he shares in his upcoming new book that you can get, Limitless. So the limitlessbook.com, and you can visit there and get the book. I'm going to drop the link in the description box, and that is the image of the book as well on your screen in relation to that. So 3 things for you to do to be able to achieve your goals. Your mindset, very, very important. Your motivation, your purpose, very critical. And then the method and the process that you are using for what you are studying. I believe that if you're able to implement these in your life, you will see your life going to another level. Don't wait till 1 week, 2 weeks, and start being serious. If you have anything to do it today. I'll see you in another broadcast as we continue with our discussion and me sharing with you some tips that can assist you to become successful and take your life to the next level. It's Nhyira Premium. Subscribe to the channel and share the channel with us. Remember to comment below with your thoughts about this topic, and let's see how it goes.